High in the Andes, stone walls still stand. No mortar, no cement, no modern tools. And yet centuries later, earthquakes pass through them, and the walls remain. Machu Picchu is not remarkable because its stones are heavy. It is remarkable because its stones fit. For a long time we treated this precision as art, as patience, as an aesthetic achievement carved into rock. But this was not decoration. It was not ritual. And it was not coincidence. It was a decision. The Inca builders shaped stone so precisely that gaps simply did not exist. Each block was formed not to resist force, but to redirect it. Instead of standing rigid against earthquakes, the walls were built to move with them. No glue to harden and crack, no brittle joints waiting to fail. Only controlled contact, only intentional movement. Modern buildings often collapse because we demand stiffness. We lock materials in place and expect them to never move. The Inca walls survived because movement was never forbidden. It was designed. When the ground shifts, these stones do not fight back. They settle, they slide by millimeters, they return. Force is not stopped, it is shared. For centuries, this knowledge was admired, but not continued. We looked at the walls and said they were skilled. But skill was never the whole story. There is a deeper idea here, one that feels uncomfortable in the modern world. The idea that strength does not come from resisting everything, but from knowing where to give way. This way of thinking did not belong to mystics, it belonged to builders. To people who understood stone, gravity, and time. And what makes this more disturbing is that the principle itself never disappeared. We still use fragments of it today, hidden, renamed, buried inside complex systems. But rarely do we speak about it directly. Because once you see it, you begin to question many modern solutions. So let us step away from the mountains for a moment and step into your home. Your laboratory is not a research facility. It is your kitchen, your garden, your hands. Because this idea is not about stone alone, it is about contact. Take simple objects, books, wooden cutting boards, flat tiles, stack them neatly, perfectly aligned, flat surface against flat surface. Now apply pressure from the side. They slide, they collapse. All the force concentrates at one line. Now rebuild the stack, not neatly, but intentionally. Introduce small angles, irregular contact points, edges that meet unevenly. Apply the same pressure. The structure does not fail immediately. The force spreads, the stack adapts. Nothing is glued, nothing is locked, yet everything holds. This is the same logic written in stone at Machu Picchu. In your garden, the difference becomes even clearer. Stack smooth stones with flat faces. Push. Then rebuild the wall using stones rotated, their surfaces meeting imperfectly, their weight shared across many points. Push again. One wall collapses, the other breathes. The absence of mortar was not a limitation, it was the entire strategy. The Inca builders understood something we often forget today. When stress concentrates, failure begins. When stress is shared, structures survive. This way of building does not erase force, it distributes it. No single point carries the burden. No crack knows where to start. They knew this. We know this. So the question is not how they did it. The question is far more uncomfortable. If this way of thinking worked centuries ago, why did we stop following it? Why do we keep designing systems that depend on rigidity alone? Why do we trust stiffness more than intelligence? This is not nostalgia, and it is not ancient worship. This is applied geology, applied structural thinking. And it exposes a quiet contradiction in modern design. Before we end, one final framework. Not a recipe, not instructions, but a way to look at structures. LSF02. Structural contact principle. Elements. Rigid units with irregular surfaces. No permanent binding agents. Multiple contact points. Approach. Arrange elements so force is never trapped in one location. Allow micromovement without separation. Avoid perfect flat-to-flat contact. Let geometry do the work, not stiffness. This is not something you copy, it is something you recognize. What you have seen here was only one example. In the next block, I will show you how dangerous intelligence truly is. I am lost solve. Remember this. Power is temporary, intelligence is permanent. And never forget. Lost solve does not merely reveal the mystery. It assigns you the task of solving it. When the first data arrives from the community, every observation you contribute will become part of the chain. Until the next lost technology. And keep this in mind. The knowledge of the past is the only solution to the future.